Do you ever feel as useless as Anne Frank's drum set? Are you tired of being a complete and utter waste of oxygen? I've definitely been there. I actually dropped out of college because I thought, damn, I'm 20 years old and I still have absolutely no discernible skills, and I was really antsy to do something with my life and not just keep taking tests and reading textbooks. I had 12 years of education for that, plus 2 years of college, and I was still about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. So here are a few ideas for how to get insane skills. 1. Follow the money, not your passions. And I know this is the exact opposite of what we're all taught most of our lives, especially in America, and 20-year-old me would have found this to be rank heresy on so many levels, but let me unpack that a bit. So ideally, your passion is something that has high market value and can potentially make you lots of money if you climb to the top of your field. Like if your passion is making TikTok dances, it might take you a while to stand out in a way that makes you money. And to get good at anything, you have to have financial freedom and the time and resources to even work on your passion. So the way to get the skills you want are to start first by identifying your most marketable skills or interests, and with that you can realistically use to make you the most money and pursue your passion on the side. Then over time you can hopefully switch the two. What are you naturally good at? Like, are you a people's person? Maybe get into sales and then work on your music career on the side. Are you a numbers person? Maybe get into accounting or logistics and work on your video game building hobby on the side. And if you make enough money doing what you're good at, you could save up to quit or take like 6 months off to work exclusively on your passion project. And let's say that you legitimately feel like you don't have any skills at all or things you're naturally good at. Well, if you have an intense interest about something but absolutely zero skills concerning that thing, that could really be enough of a starting point. Like, just having a fascination will take you a lot of places, because if anything, it'll keep you pushing along because you have a vested interest, literally, like you're interested in it and you have something that your mind easily focuses on. By the way, I'm Andrew, this is my co-host, Oakley, and we're currently accepting donations in the form of subscribes or job offers for Oakley so that he can finally get some skills and start contributing around here. And if you have any ways that have helped you develop skills, you can put them in the comments below. 2. Make yourself indispensable. I remember reading this Leo Tolstoy book back in the day about how you wouldn't have to worry about employment if wherever you are, you make yourself indispensable. Like if you're the guy who's always on time, always fixing problems instead of creating them, is very likable and works well with others. Even like when the company might have to make layoffs, they'll probably end up keeping you somehow because they might have to change your position just because they know that you're invaluable. And obviously that's not 100% true. It doesn't always work that way, but it's just a really great principle to keep in mind as you develop skills, because really this should have been the first rule because it applies to all fields. But being the kind of person who finishes projects on time, who's easy to work with, who stays true to your word, who communicates clearly with your customers and your boss, and who doesn't trash talk your coworkers. Like, these things are usually more important than if you're actually even good at your job, because you're teachable and easy to work with and always showing improvement, and you're going to keep growing and learning and getting promotions and building relationships with people who will take you further in your skills journey. My wife and I do wedding photography and videography, and our business is like 60% skill and 40% vibe, because most business sales have more to do with personality than with actual product. Just to give an example, I kept full stats of this for like a year, but I found that if I have a phone call with a client before sending them pricing, there is an 80% chance that they would book us. Whereas on the flip side, if they emailed and I just emailed back some pricing in a clinical business way, it was the exact inverse. Only like 20% of those people booked us, because you can fit so much more into a 5 to 10 minute conversation than you can into an email. Like, you can make them laugh, you can make them feel at ease, like they'd want you to be at their wedding just as a friend. Like, you can tell them how you've done almost 400 projects and never once been late on a deadline. Like, you can share stories of how you've problem solved on the fly on fast-paced and high-stress wedding days, because communicating these traits that we've built over time is what makes people feel like we're indispensable assets on their wedding day. 3, find a mentor. Whatever field you're going into, find someone who's an expert and ask to work together or shadow, or even just grab coffee so you can ask a few questions and pick their brain. Certain fields even offer like official paid mentorships, and most of the time those things are well worth the cost, because someone who's been in an industry for say 10 years can boil down 10 years of do's and don'ts. And even if they have an official membership program that charges $300 or $500, it's totally worth it, because they'll save you like $30,000 or $50,000 plus in mistakes that you don't have to make, and business shortcuts and tax advice and all those kinds of things. Take out a loan if you have to get a mentor. Okay, maybe don't do that, but save up however much you need to make time for a mentor in your field of interest. Like, my path with mentorship was pretty unconventional, because I actually dropped out of college and went straight into living with and working with a bunch of Mennonite and Amish people. And that happened for a lot of reasons, but a huge one was because I thought, I want to know how to be a man and have skills. And if you want skills, boy, the Amish are a gold mine of skills. And I wasn't even culturally or religiously Amish or anything, though ironically enough, they shave the mustache, and I just don't have one because of Irish genetics. So people thought I was homegrown Amish, and I'm like, nope, just Irish. But I learned a lot about how to become indispensable through having these unofficial mentors, just seeing how they ran their businesses and demanded excellence and dealt with problematic customers and how they got innovative to solve problems. It was a crash course into all sorts of life skills, and it was worth 10 times my curtailed 2-year college experience. And then down the road, once my wife and I started a photography, videography business, one of our biggest regrets is that it took us way too many years before we hired an official mentor that was just at like the next level from where we were at. And so we hired one. She helped us rethink our business from the ground up, and from there on is where our business really started exploding, because we spent the time with an actual expert and took their advice. And one of the books she had us read was Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, and I'll put a link to it below, because it was helpful to formulate a vision, and it'd be useful for self-development even if you're not building an actual business, because it teaches you how to develop and sell yourself and like share your story, which is valuable in every industry. So hopefully some of that's useful to you on your journey to build skills. Please subscribe so that Oakley can afford welding school and not be useless anymore. And here's a slideshow of him as a reward for making it to the end.